Hello again. Some people gloat when they see the pickle which Britain is in with immigration. They suggest that this is payback for the British Empire and that after going off and living in other people's lands in Africa, India and the Caribbean, we can hardly be surprised if they now think it's their turn to come and live in our country. This argument cannot, of course, be applied to the Irish Republic, which never had an empire and was indeed until the 1920s harshly repressed by Britain. Nevertheless, Ireland too now seems to be the target of mass immigration, especially from Africa. It's rapidly changing the whole nature of the country. What was until a few years ago a Celtic nation and a staunchly Catholic one is now becoming globalised and surrendering its own identity in favour of other ethnicities and religions. It is estimated that Islam will overtake Protestantism as the second most popular religion in Ireland by 2043. There are now over 100,000 Muslims in the country and more than 50 mosques. This trend has come as a shock to many people. In the last 10 years alone, the number of Muslims in Ireland has doubled, and it's still increasing fast. It is Africans, though, who seem to be making a particular beeline for the country. Last year's Miss Ireland was, of course, Nigerian, which was a little odd. As usual, when Nigerians get their feet under the table, they're finding their way into positions of influence. In countries with a lot of experience of Nigerians, especially the Yoruba, people are aware of some of the games which are played, but Ireland has no experience of such things, and so they're like a lamb to the slaughter once the Yorubas step off the plane and get to work. Of course, those from other parts of Africa are not slow to see that here is virgin territory, a nation which seems prepared to give them the benefit of the doubt, and where the people don't really understand the machinations and manoeuvres which enable Africans to get themselves into good positions. Because claiming asylum is a little tricky in Ireland, Nigerians have hit upon another path, which is getting girls pregnant. Since any child born in the country is automatically an Irish citizen, this gives the father a way to stay in the country. This has led to a remarkable number of mixed-race babies in the Irish Republic. Of course, one does see the same tricks by would-be African immigrants to Ireland as are seen in the rest of Europe. Take Ellie Kisiombi, for example, who may be seen in the thumbnail to this video. In 2010, she went to Ireland on a student visa and didn't think that her chances of claiming asylum were high. So she hopped over to Britain and tried her luck there. This didn't work out and she ended up being arrested. Then she returned to Ireland and claimed asylum there instead, forgetting to mention that she had already been turned down in Britain. A fairly typical instance of shopping around for the best option when claiming asylum. In 2019, she tried to run as a councillor in the local elections, but it came to light she hadn't been altogether straight about the little matter of shopping around for the best deal on the asylum front, and she was forced to withdraw her candidacy. She has leave to remain now and has brought her children over from Malawi. Earlier this year, she was charged with assaulting a worker at the asylum centre where she was staying. Ireland is rapidly becoming used to this kind of thing, and now that those granted asylum are starting to send back to Africa for their families, the numbers in the Republic are rising rapidly. The population of Ireland has risen quite sharply over the last 5 years, according to the 2021 census, and it's mostly due to immigration and the pregnancies resulting from attempts to gain rights to remain by African men.